My name is Joseph Clifford. This is Dublin City, Ireland, my home, my country. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to do a series of blogs of ordinary people who've done exceptional things in their life, and they're all from my backyard.
Olympic qualification for me, like back in 2001 when I became senior champion, that was one of the biggest achievements of my life. I was very, very proud to bring the title back to Neilstown. In a distant vision I had was the Olympics, but to be honest with you, Joe, I never felt good enough to be an Olympian. I didn't think it was at that level. So when the Olympic qualifiers came around, we had 3 chances to qualify for Athens 2004, and I failed all 3. That just proved to myself that I wasn't good enough. I didn't deserve to be an Olympian because I didn't perform. Didn't feel I was good enough to perform. Didn't feel I had the right to stand on the podium in these qualifiers, and that just slipped right past me. I wasn't mature enough to take a hold of the talent that I had. Like, I was good, but I didn't believe I was that good. Okay, I was senior champion 4 years in a row, or whatever, great, but I wasn't good enough to be the Olympian. And that's being honest. And I've said that before.
Well, how come that didn't cascade into your national performances?
Because I had myself beaten, because I was beating people in Ireland that weren't at the standard of people around the world, of course. And I had myself beaten before I even get in the ring half the time. So that was my own demons, you know, telling myself I wasn't good enough.
So when did that change? So
2004 passed, and I was looking at retiring, and then I was going to get out of boxing. But then I got back into it then because I believed in the structure and I believed in the high performance and the people around me. Gary Keegan, Billy, Zor. And we said, right, let's give this another go. Now, 4 years is a long time for anyone to commit to something that you might know the outcome. So you think about it that way. That's 4 years.
You have to qualify through national competition before
you have to win your seniors first. That's the first thing. Then you have to be selected then to represent your country. Then you have to go to qualifiers and try and qualify. Not knowing that you're going to even qualify for the games at the end. It's a big risk. But I believed deep down that I had talent. I just didn't know how much talent I had. I knew I was good. And you mentioned there different competitions. I kind of nearly knew before I left the country when we were going to different competitions that I'd medal or I wouldn't medal. So like your likes of the Finland, you go to the Tamir tournament. I won the gold medal there 4 or 5 times. Different types of multinations that I knew I would win because the standard wasn't the best, so I felt comfortable there. But stick me in a competition like the Chemistry Cup or something, where the top nations are there, then I'd say, oh, this is a bit tough now, you know? And I'd be beating myself down again, and then I'd probably come home with a bronze or a silver. So I always beat myself up. So 2004 came right past, committed to the next 4 years. And this was still the same format.
So what changed you psychologically?
I remember sitting in a training camp in Russia with Gary Keegan. We were sitting on a bench and, you know, we were coming up to qualifiers and I was thinking, if I don't qualify, that's it then. This is my last chance, you know. I've only 3, well, it was 3 chances at the qualifier, and I was talking to Gary and saying, if this doesn't work out this time, look, fair enough, blah, blah, blah. So I already set myself up for failure, if you like. And I remember Gary turned around and said, look, Kenny, he says, you need to do something for yourself. Take ownership of your talent, he said to me. And I always remember that statement. Take ownership of your talent. And it took me a while to figure out what he meant. Like, I was good enough. Everyone around me believed in me. The coaches believed in me. Zor was on to me all the time, telling me that you're this, that and the other. You're a fantastic counter puncher. Your ring awareness, your distance, your timing, your feinting. It's all perfect, he says. But you just need to put it together on any given day and take ownership of what talent you have. And I had got talent, but I just need to believe in it myself. So when that statement struck a chord with me, you know, and breaking things down then, making things simplistic, 1 round at a time, 1 fight at a time, one competition at a time, and all of a sudden then I was taking away the expectations of results.
So rather than looking at the mountain, you're looking at the first step.
Exactly. Looking right down at my first foot, then the next step, forgetting about outcomes. And that was the start of my turn of my career, in my senior boxing career. You know, going to the qualifiers. Chicago failed. Pescara failed. So I had one chance left, back to Athens, where the Olympics all began. And that's when I really put it into place and said, right, let's just, because I had a terrible habit of looking at the boxing draw and looking 3 or 4 fights down to see who I'm going to meet to try and qualify, taking my eye off the first couple of people that I had to beat. But not in Athens. First round, first fight, and that's the way I controlled right through. And all of a sudden, then when I beat the German in the semi-final to qualify for the games, the monkey was off me back. And all those years of travelling and living out of a suitcase, all I wanted to be was the Olympian at the end of the day, nothing else. Just wanted to have the 5 rings on my top to say that I'd qualified for an Olympic Games.